to Beyond the Headlines on the WMBD Plus app, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. I'm Brianna Rittman.
And I'm Alex Berger. We're going to be talking about why Peoria is suing Boyd Gaming in East Peoria on the proposed redevelopment plan for Paradise Casino, and changes for a program that helps incarcerated individuals find success.
And lastly, a major milestone for a local high school fundraiser.
Well, our first local story of the day, as we mentioned, the city of Peoria is suing several entities, and WMBD's Cameron Main joining us now. He's going to share who they're suing and why. So, Cameron, break this down. What is this all about?
So you might have heard this 1991 agreement with the city of Peoria and East Peoria. Back then, the city of Peoria didn't like this thing called a casino on their dock. So they go, hey, I think we can come to this agreement where they can set up in East Peoria and we could split 50-50 on those, on a 5% of those gaming revenues.
Yeah.
That ends up giving a certain amount of money to each city. They're happy, and the casino ended up in East Peoria, which the mayor at the time wasn't very interested in. So what ends up happening is, over time, this Paradise Casino actually seems like a pretty good gig. And while at that time, Riverboat Casino was kind of a loophole around gambling laws in the state, the state ended up actually being a lot more pro-gambling as the years went on. And now they're approving land-based casinos. However, in that 1991 agreement, they were like, hey, if they were to build a land-based casino, it had to be in Peoria.
Yeah.
So what happens is Paradise is now wanting to build, Boyd Gaming, who owns Paradise, want to build this casino, and they want to build it now in East Peoria because their property's there, everything's there. And the way they're skirting around this whole land-based casino agreement is by digging a hole, filling it with river water, and going, hey, it's water-based. It's a modernized riverboat. The city of Peoria is pissed in the most nice way of saying it. They are frustrated that this has happened because this whole time, across 30 years of this agreement, they thought they were going to get the land-based casino, and now they're finding out they weren't going to get it. So ahead of Peoria City Council members last night, they had a choice. It was either get the settlement with the league. They had already filed a lawsuit and started litigation and conversations with the opposing parties, which includes East Peoria, Boyd Gaming, and the Illinois Gaming Board, a state entity. That's a big deal.
Wow.
And basically going, all right, we'll give you this agreement. You'll have 2.25% of the gaming revenue, but because we predict we're getting more gaming revenue, you will still end up with roughly the same amount to no cost of the city. Like, they cost them nothing. They will get that for as long as the casino would have lasted, and as long as they drop the case.
Yeah.
But a hung city council 5-5 vote meant they are moving forward with litigation between those three bodies.
Wow. How interesting. That's very surprising, because I mean, at first we thought that possibly Peoria would get that revenue share.
Right.
And now that's
And they had the option to.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people making arguments, and a lot of people that made arguments for the settlement, they were not happy that this was happening in the first place. But at the end of the day, the mayor and Carmona and Vespa all said, Bernice Gordon-Young said the same things. Boyd Gaming is not coming to Peoria, whether they go do this settlement or this lawsuit or not. But now they're moving forward to it. What does that mean? Well, the Illinois Gaming Board is set to vote on the Paradise Casino's plans to expand the redevelopment, this whole giant water-based casino, in Thursday. That is 2 days away. So they have filed an emergency restraining order to stop that from being blocked. Now, we just saw the court documents. In those court documents, they actually say, hey, the Illinois Gaming Board actually doesn't have standing on this to approve this because state law has codified the agreement, and they cannot approve that this is a water-based casino. It is going to, that is kind of their argument going into it, and they're moving this really fast. It's filed in Cook County, where most gaming-related laws happen. And now they're also moving with other pieces of litigation against those members. But again, it's against Boyd Gaming, a Vegas-based casino group. It's against East Peoria, the neighbors across the river, and the Illinois Gaming Board, a state entity, which will have state attorneys representing them. Maybe I should double check that to be sure. But that is probably it's going to be a difficult opponent. That's what the mayor said.
Right.
But Euler, we were talking to him today and talked to him about this agreement, and especially the connection between East Peoria and Peoria.
Right.
One of the questions we asked along with digital reporter Andy Kravitz was, how do you think this will strain the relationship, these regional ties between the two? And Euler said, well, those were already hurt because East Peoria did this behind our back.
Oh, man.
Well,
So-
there you have it.
Wow.
It is, people are not happy with it from the Peoria side. They're moving forward with this litigation, and we'll see as soon, probably as soon as tomorrow, if they might actually be successful with that restraining order.
How about that? And Cameron will stay on top of that. He's been following this greatly, so thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, Cameron.
Well, listen to this. Researchers captured rare footage of a jellyfish that can grow as long as a school bus in a recent
Wow.
expedition. The team packed into a research vessel and dove into the deep sea off the Argentina coast. Researchers believe they had found 28 new species, including worms, corals, sea urchins, and sea snails. But the most impressive species, they say, was this giant phantom jellyfish, which they saw at a depth of 820 feet.
Kind of looks like a ballerina. I know
does.
Come on, Magic School Bus.
Come
That's
on,
what that
Magic
reminds
School
me.
Bus.
The thing is, I think it's not technically the longest animal. I know there's some weird jellyfish type animals that are technically longer than like the
Some
blue whale.
eels or something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
And so one of the things is there's this thing called the lion's mane jellyfish. You can find it in
wow.
Australia.
Of
The sting
course.
actually kind of hurts, but it's not as bad as like the box jellyfish where it's like, okay, if I touch you, game over.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the lion's mane, apparently it's like 30 meters long, which is roughly 90-ish feet, 100 feet.
Wow.
So pretty big jellyfish.
Speaking of animals, did you have a good Groundhog Day?
I did have a good Groundhog Day. I was disappointed in the outcome. Feels like an election day that didn't go my way. You know? It's like, oh man, well, maybe next year the booths will be in my favor. Maybe the groundhogs will see my way of things.
All right.
There you go.
All right, when we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we've got Austin Feeman live from the Twin Cities newsroom to talk about some changes for a program that helps incarcerated people find success. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our next local story of the day, the McLean County YWCA is making some changes to their Labyrinth Reentry Services program. WMBD's Austin Feeman joins us now to tell us more about this evolution they are experiencing. So Austin, what is the Labyrinth Reentry Services program?
Yeah, thank you, Brianna. So the Labyrinth program, technically it's called the Labyrinth Reentry Services Program, and it aims to serve recently incarcerated women, and as of last July, also men, to help them with their return to society. Now, the YWCA helps with career finding, housing, work experience, all sorts of different things to help their transition from being incarcerated back into society. Now, they did this in many different ways, but one of the main ways that they did is they had their own business on site in which people could get retail experience working as, say, a marketing manager or a sales associate, all sorts of different things where they can get real experience that they can take into the real world and get a job and support themselves. Now, this business, it was ran entirely by these people with the help of staff, and they made all sorts of different things between candles, wax melts, car fresheners, candle warmers, all sorts of different things with all sorts of different scents and whatnot. And it really, they built it from the ground up. So it really gave them that experience that they needed to go out into the real world, not only working in a retail experience, but really anywhere that they wish to work.
Yeah, and this is something that,
Right.
you and I have covered at TV10, Austin. This is a story that's kind of been in the rounds for a long time, but how is it changing now as opposed to before?
Yeah, so it really, it's not changing a lot. It's changing the way that they do things, but the goal or the aim of the entire program is staying the same. So they're really shifting from a reactive program where they are taking recently released incarcerated people and they're bringing them in and they're helping them with their return. Instead, they're going to be shifting to kind of a proactive program where they're going inside of the prisons, working with people who are soon to be released, helping them with their return. That way, when they get out, they already have the things that they need to go out and be successful. You know, get their own house, get their own job, and whatnot. So they'll be inside. Really, the big change is they'll be inside of the prisons, working with these people, making sure that they have what they need to get out in the real world and get jobs and whatnot. But with that also comes the closure of the Labyrinth Made Goods, the candles and stuff that I was talking about earlier. That part of the program is going to be discontinued because they're not able to they're not able to have these prisoners on their site where they can run the business. They're really shifting to inside of the prisons. And focusing on that. So they really don't have the staff or the people to run this business anymore. So unfortunately, they're shutting it down. But you know, their mission and their goal is still the same. Is to help these incarcerated people with their return to society.
Yeah. Okay, Austin. Real quick before we head to our kicker here, what are you going to do with the goods that have already been made since they're closing the program down? Are we able to purchase them or what?
Yeah, so with the goods that have already been made, yeah, you'll be able to purchase them. Luckily, they'll be at 90% off until the supply runs out. So
almost literally.
You can purchase these candles, candle warmers, anything that you want for 90% off until the stock runs out.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you, Austin, for giving us that update. Now, Alex, do you play Wordle?
I do. I do like the Wordle.
I'm not surprised. Well, the popular puzzle game Wordle is announcing a big change.
Yep.
If you haven't played this or don't remember, players get 6 chances to guess the 5-letter word of the day. For the last 4+ years, the game has never reused an answer. The New York Times, who now owns and operates Wordle, says they're running out of words. So the company announced that they will begin putting previous Wordle answers back into the mix.
Oh, okay.
The game's original creator says the total number of 5-letter words comes to a list of about 2,500 words.
Really?
That's it?
That's kind of surprising to me. But at the same time, that's fine. Like, I think that's okay. 2,500 does not get repetitive.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
That's not a bad change.
Yeah, no, that's not crazy at all. I mean, there's a lot of good New York Times games as well. Right. So that's not like the main one. So that's not repetitive at all. Good on you, New York Times. I'm totally okay with that.
Now, we got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. Alex is going to be in this hot seat right here to talk about a huge fundraiser done by high school students at Limestone. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, drums pounded and horns sounded as Limestone Community High School kicked off this year's Easter Seals fundraiser. Alex is in the hot seat now to tell us all about it. That's
right. So I basically went to Limestone. This is a big fundraiser, and there was a really loud, gym atmosphere, and I actually have a package on it, so you can see this real quick.
Limestone certainly stepped ahead of the game and became a leader in the process.
A milestone for a school program that sets the bar for service. For 50 years, Limestone Community High School has been partnering with Easter Seals for their annual fundraiser, which kicked off Tuesday morning.
I don't think that you will ever see the level of commitment and the level of drive to raise awareness for those we serve at Easter Seals like you see in Limestone High School.
The fundraiser was started back in 1977 by Gordon Wassel, who was a social studies teacher at the school. He'd been teaching for about 10 years and he wanted to show students a way to give back. Since then, he says it's bigger and better than it's ever been.
I think once you get a ball rolling like this, I would hate to see anyone suggest that we weren't going to do it anymore. It just simply is a part of District 310 and Limestone High School.
For the Vice President of Student Council, she says it's a personal mission for her to better other people's lives.
To me, it means not just helping the kids, but seeing the success. This is something I've always enjoyed, even when I was younger. I loved being able to come up here and watch this happen every year and watch kids raise all this money.
The student body president says he's humbled by this fundraiser year after year.
It's a great experience being able to understand what they truly do and why they need our support to do what they do. And I think it's just overall just an accomplishing feeling of bettering someone else and not just focus on yourself.
Reporting in Bartonville, I'm Alex Berger. Beyond the Headlines.
So as you can see there, it is a huge deal for Limestone. They are actually probably the school in Central Illinois that does the biggest kind of fundraiser for Easter Seals because it's their big event each year.
Oh, wow. And for those who just may not know, what is Easter Seals?
Easter Seals is an organization that provides services for children, families of children who have disabilities.
Okay.
So, you know, if there's any developmental delay, if there's any sort of, you know, intellectual, physical disabilities, they really help that child to, you know, a lot of families spoke today that, you know, receive services. So it could be anything from speech therapy to, you know, physical therapy to anything that they really need to get that child on the right track or to just kind of, you know, help them with life in general. So it's a you know, really genuine organization that just cares about people.
That is so awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
So how much money have they raised?
Yeah, so in the 50 years, well, in the 49 years that money has been collected, this is the 50th year, obviously, here, over $1.5 million in total have been raised. Yeah, and it's getting more and more. So like last year was 125,000, I think, and some change. So more than $125,000 was raised last year. So it's getting more and more. And you know, they're in the first year that they had it. It was $500. And so
that they raised.
And
last year was $125,000.
Yeah, and when they raised that money, the guy who created it, Gordon Wassel, he said he thought they cleared out Bartonville, like all the money. And so now they've got $125,000 per year. So
that's amazing. Well, shout out to Limestone.
Hey, what can you say? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take this.
Thank you, Alex.
So the big game is this Sunday. Many fans will tune in for the game, the halftime show, or the commercials. The real star, though, for many, is the food. Search data leading up to last year's game shows dips dominated menus nationwide. Buffalo chicken dip actually topped the list. Brianna's is celebrating in more states than any other recipe, followed by guac and spinach dip. Soups and chilies were also popular. Surprisingly, though, wings ranked lower than expected, except in California, where they claimed the top spot. On the map, Illinois' top big game food is dips.
Well, remember last year ahead of the big game, I was on the morning show and we were bringing in ours, and so I brought in buffalo chicken dip. I made some on the show.
It was great.
Yes, and then I brought some for the team. Yes, so that's why I'm cheering.
Buffalo chicken dip really is, you know, we were talking about this earlier, and I think you can absolutely make, you know, say that buffalo chicken dip is the greatest Super Bowl food of all time. Absolutely. For me, I really like each year. It started when my Panthers were in the big game 2016, and my mom started making these Oreo footballs.
Oh.
And so, yeah, those have been incredible ever since. So, so you're buffalo chicken dip?
I'm definitely a pizza and wings girl.
Okay, yeah.
I'm definitely pizza and wings. I just make I make the dip because people ask me to.
Hey.
Like, I don't even eat it most of the time. I'm just like, here y'all go. Y'all love it so much.
Yes. All right.
Well, thank you for joining us on today's Beyond the Headlines. You can find all these stories and more over on our website, including my buffalo chicken dip recipe. It's still on the website, ciproud.com.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to ciproud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.